Hello and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. I am Jitch and you're watching Friday Night SmackDown.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from El Paso, Texas, weighing 228 pounds, Eddie Guerrero.
Well, kicking things off here tonight, 2 days before Elimination Chamber, we're shifting focus just a tiny bit to start things off. Because Eddie Guerrero is kicking off tonight's SmackDown. He's going to go one-on-one with R-Truth. And the winner of this match will meet Ryback for the Hardcore Championship next week. Ryback will be made to defend that championship fairly regularly, as the PS3 is a horrible, horrible console. Oh boy. Okay, wow, what an amazing entrance by Eddie Guerrero that was. Very good. Good job, Eddie.
And approaching the ring from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, R-Truth.
Well, here comes R-Truth, who recently lost his tag team partner, Zack Ryder. He's all by himself once again. R-Truth, for those of them who missed it this week on NXT, R-Truth's tag team partner, Zack Ryder, was in an EYS match and lost to Rick Rude. So Rick Rude is back on SmackDown after a month away, and R-Truth is now alone once again. SmackDown Tag Division takes another hit, unfortunately. So our first match of the night, Eddie Guerrero, R-Truth, one-on-one, and Elimination Chamber just 2 days away. I cannot wait to find out who will be the second ever King of the Ring, and also who will be going to WrestleMania, the champions, and of course finally who will be challenging for what championships at WrestleMania. What can you expect from tonight's SmackDown? Well, our main event tonight, Edge gets good to go one-on-one with Chris Jericho. They came up to the very finals of the Royal Rumble match last month. It came down to Edge and Chris Jericho, and Jericho eliminated Edge, denied him his dream to become a world champion once again in the main event of WrestleMania. Edge could bounce back in the King of the Ring tournament, but here tonight he faces off against Chris Jericho one-on-one. And we've also got the World Champion John Cena up against Wade Barrett later on tonight, as well as Mark Henry and the Ultimate Warrior. Up next, as issued by the manager of the Intercontinental Champion, Andre the Giant. He accepted the challenge of the Great Khali, and the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line next. Could the Great Khali win the Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championship in the span of like a month? I mean, he's no longer the World Heavyweight Champion, but you know what I mean. It would definitely be shocking. Yeah, I'll use the word shocking. But it could happen. Of course, the World Heavyweight Championship is scheduled to be defended. Sorry. Am I saying it? The Hardcore Championship is scheduled to be defended next week on SmackDown against the winner of this match, which is what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by three very aggressive beeps in the background. And Eddie with a good takedown. Mama. I wonder how R-Truth will manage being on his own here on SmackDown now. I know him and Zack Ryder, they never really got off the ground too well, and obviously, if you want to be completely honest, R-Truth was actually doing pretty damn good by himself when given the opportunity to compete on SmackDown, but you know, trying not to diminish Zack Ryder's accomplishments and everything like that. Dismiss, I think is what I meant to say there. I do think that it's going to be interesting to see how R-Truth is able to turn things around for himself in singles competition once again. There's a good reversal there. Of course, R-Truth is a former two-time light heavyweight champion, I think was the title when he won it. It might be, I might be wrong about that. He might only be a one-time champion. I'm not too sure. So we'll see how that works out for him. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit sleepy in this episode. I just woke up and realized that technically I wasn't really able to do this today, but I still have like another like 3 or 4 hours in my day before I can then not record this for a little while. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try and squeeze this in SmackDown and Chamber so I can finally have Chamber done. And we can be on the road, the road to WrestleMania, you know, the 5-week. Well, okay, first Sandow came out, now Edge came out. I don't know why either of these two men are out here. I literally do not know what association either of those two have with this match. Good move by R-Truth as he goes to the cover, just the one though. Oh. That's right, that is Little Jimmy. And I guess Sandow is helping R-Truth? I don't know. Perhaps he just wants some attention. I mean, him and Scott Steiner have not been on SmackDown recently. They are the World Tag Team Champions still. Perhaps he's just frustrated that he's not getting the attention he so desperately craves. Now, I don't know why you want to get involved in this matchup, and better yet, I don't know why Edge is out here. That makes no sense. I guess he's got a history with Sandow? Maybe it's a backup plan, you know? If he loses the King of the Ring tournament, he could still go for the tag titles again. Well, the lasso from El Paso is locked in on R-Truth. I do not know why Sandow has decided he has an issue with Eddie Guerrero. What is going on?
Eddie Guerrero from behind.
Well, Truth did survive the lasso from El Paso, by the way. He did not tap out at any point during that. So he is still in this one legally, despite Damian Sandow's interference. Is this maybe it? Oh. And he looked like he was setting up for Ray 619, but he hasn't been teaming with Ray for over a year now. Or has it been 2? It's been 1 or 2 years since Eddie and Ray split. It might be 2. I don't remember anymore. Eddie looking for a brain buster. Oh, no. Or the Three Amigos. You never know. R-Truth. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do the 2K special? Reverse a finisher and then hit yours and win. R-Truth. You know what? That's very fitting for R-Truth, at least. that actually works because it's R-Truth. The greatest leg drop known to man right there. Is it enough? Just a 2. There it is, Little Jimmy. R-Truth into the cover off a Little Jimmy, and R-Truth gets a hardcore title shot next week. Can he bounce back from losing his tag team partner, Zack Ryder, to becoming hardcore champion? Maybe.
Here's your winner, R-Truth. He gets a big victory here tonight.
Well, congratulations, R-Truth. This is an important win in the career of R-Truth. I think Eddie Guerrero may need to reconsider things for a little bit. Things haven't been working out too well for him lately. This run on SmackDown has been cursed for Eddie, that's for sure. Well, up next, we'll find out if we have a new champion this week on SmackDown, because Andre the Giant defends the Intercontinental Championship against the Great Khali next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, weighing 275 pounds, the Ultimate Warrior.
Well, the Ultimate Warrior sets foot in the Elimination Chamber this Sunday for the first time in his career. I mean, this guy's not even been here for a year, and obviously this Sunday he's competing in a World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match. His first opportunity at becoming World Champion. But here tonight he gets a taste of what it's like to go up against an undeniable world champion, because Ultimate Warrior is kicking off his road to the world. I kind of fumbled my words there. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna own it. But he's facing off against Mark Henry here tonight, and I don't like his chances.
From Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Now listen, Ultimate Warrior, he can be very surprising. He hasn't been given a lot of opportunity against some of the top dogs on SmackDown. He could come out on top tonight. I'm not denying that. All I'm saying right now is I feel Mark Henry is on another level. And I feel like him, you know what, I'll say it, just like when he went into Hell in a Cell and he destroyed CM Punk to win the world title the first time, I feel like Mark Henry is going to be right at home inside the Elimination Chamber. And I feel like this is going to be an extremely tough one to break in that match. Mark Henry this year, I feel like he is being destined for a big WrestleMania matchup. And if he loses at the Elimination Chamber, well, if I were Ryback or Andre the Giant, I would brace myself for WrestleMania season coming around the corner, because Mark Henry is going to do whatever it takes, I would imagine, to be a part of WrestleMania. And if he's not going in for the World Heavyweight title, I imagine he's going for something else. You know what's really crazy, and I know a lot of people maybe would, I mean, this could be a divisive thing to say, but I feel like Mark Henry has actually outshined a lot of the stars on SmackDown. I feel like he's managed to become one of the biggest names here on Friday nights, and I think that's quite an accomplishment to be said, you know. You look at the SmackDown roster, it is absolutely stacked with just incredible competitor on top of incredible competitor. There is barely anyone on SmackDown that doesn't feel like they belong in that top spot. Well, I believe this is a first-time matchup here tonight. They've both been on SmackDown since Warrior's debut, but I don't think these two have ever crossed paths before. So this should be an interesting one-on-one matchup. Ultimate Warrior getting an opportunity to show us that he is ready for the big leagues. And obviously, you know, the thing about Ultimate Warrior, it's very similar in a way to, say, I guess you could say Wade Barrett maybe is like the closest I can think of when it comes to competitors in the Elimination Chamber. Like, he's still very fresh here on SmackDown. Actually, that's not true. Wade Barrett's been around since season 1. I don't want to use him as an example. I don't think there's anyone actually in any of the chamber matches that is like Ultimate Warrior right now, in the sense of, like, he is so new here that the idea of him competing in the main event of WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship as the defending champion, it feels a little far-fetched. It feels a little unusual, but it could absolutely happen. I believe Warrior's debut match was an Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge where he faced Bret Hart. I think that's right. I think that was his first matchup here on SmackDown. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that was very early on, if not his first match. Hart, a very prideful defending champion back in his Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championship reigns. I feel like Bret Hart is someone that SmackDown is sorely missing. Obviously, you know, plenty of people have stepped up and filled that space. But what I'm saying is, Bret Hart, yeah, I feel like he had a huge impact here on SmackDown over the last season. As this season is coming closer and closer to an end, I think it's safe to say that SmackDown really felt a huge wave and change as Bret Hart not only encountered a lot of new enemies, and, you know, we saw a lot of people rise to the top, including Mark Henry literally crippling him and removing him from active competition. But on top of that as well, you know, we saw people associated with Bret Hart get elevated to that next level. For a guy that was only around for about a year or maybe just under 2, yeah, I'd say that's pretty impressive. And obviously, it goes to show that given an opportunity, you can go far with it. Ultimate Warrior might be next in line to be just that. Might really shock us all in the Elimination Chamber. Just like over on Raw, Drew McIntyre might shock us all.
What a sequence of
If I had to think who I think the biggest underdogs are going into each chamber match, well, on Raw, it's definitely Drew McIntyre. There's no doubt about that. In the WWE Championship chamber, oh, for sure it's Drew McIntyre. But the biggest underdog going into the SmackDown chamber right now, I'd say it's probably either Warrior or Barrett. Triple H, Mark Henry, Big Show, and of course John Cena are all people who have held the World Heavyweight Championship. But Warrior is still so new, he's never experienced the Elimination Chamber. And then of course Wade Barrett, he's been on a great momentum streak lately. He really gave Andre the run for his money for the Intercontinental Championship. But is he ready to step up and become World Heavyweight Champion? I don't know. I think I'd have to say Warrior is the bigger underdog in that one, though. Despite his size, despite the fact that you look at Ultimate Warrior and you feel like, yeah, that's a guy who's, you know, already a big enough deal. I feel like he just, you know, this would really be an unusual WrestleMania season if he was to come up with the World Heavyweight Champion, because I don't even know if has Warrior even had like an actual rivalry since debuting. But, you know, here in this universe, anything can happen, and it could be just the time for Warrior to change things for himself in a hugely dramatic way.
What a match. Wow. How Henry saved himself from that, I'll never know.
Well, this could be it. I would not imagine it is, but then again, season 4. Warrior says no. He's continuing to say no. Not going to pass out like the Great Khali did earlier. I wonder what's next for the Great Khali now that he's come up short in the Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe a tag title run? Incredible strength shown by the world's strongest man, which should come as no surprise with a name like that. And nope, I really thought maybe Mark Henry had done it there. Mark Henry scooping him up. He's going for the world's strongest slam, but no, he reverses it. And oh, I thought for a minute Warrior was going to hit him with the world's strongest slam of his own. Henry is in the center of the ring, and I don't know what the hell Warrior was looking to do there, but he didn't do it, whatever it was. Now, you may be wondering why exactly the World Heavyweight Champion John Cena is in action up next instead of the main event here tonight. Well, this was a statement made by Paul Heyman that I begrudge, but I have to accept, which is, he says, John Cena may not be in the main event of WrestleMania. John Cena may not be a world champion after the end of this week, but Chris Jericho will headline WrestleMania. He will compete for the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship, so his stocks are best invested in the Royal Rumble winner right now. So Jericho's actually been given preferential treatment over the World Heavyweight Champion, and doesn't that just make you sick? Well, I'll tell you what, Mark Henry is learning a thing or two about how tough Ultimate Warrior is here tonight. Even if he is getting the best of him, he is definitely learning just how much the Ultimate Warrior can endure.
I can't believe everything that's transpired thus far.
Oh my god, again. Going for another powerbomb, this time a DDT. Warrior dragging Henry away from the corner, and he now goes in for a cover. Is this going to be enough to get the job done? No, just a 2 count. You got it too. Warrior works the arm of Mark Henry, and Henry manages to shift back control. Henry slowly walking into Warrior there. That's how you know this isn't the end. Told you. If you see them walk into them off of a move, they are not getting the 3 count. Big strike to the head of Henry. It just dawned on me again that, like, 5 more SmackDowns and this game is gonna, this whole series is gonna look very different. World's strongest slam. Is that gonna be enough? Yes. Mark Henry is poised and ready for the Elimination Chamber in just 2 days' time. And you know what? The thing about Mark Henry is he's such a fighting machine. I don't think this took anything out of him going into the Chamber this Sunday.
What an incredible match. That one could have gone either way. Nobody has.
Well, Mark Henry really gave Ultimate Warrior, you know, a tough time here tonight. Obviously, he came out on top, but Warrior, I think, was very impressive in this. I think he may have learned a thing or two about what he maybe needs to do this Sunday, what he's up against. I mean, it could be a career-defining moment for Warrior this Sunday still. But Mark Henry once again picks up a major win. You got to think, he's got a win over John Cena. He's got a win over Ultimate Warrior. He's got a win over just about everyone in that match. I'm rooting for this guy becoming a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. I hate to admit it, but I think it's going to happen.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Manchester, England, weighing 246 pounds, Wade Barrett.
Well, you talk about an opportunity to make a huge impact. Wade Barrett has got just that. I've spoken before about the insane momentum that this guy has built up on this road that has now led him to the Elimination Chamber. You know, I will definitely say, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, I think he had a pretty easy target in qualifying for the Chamber. I feel like him and Scorpio, that was a fairly simple match for Barrett, but you know, this guy, he's done incredible, and even though he didn't defeat Andre the Giant for the Intercontinental Championship, the fact he managed to go so long and so hard against the Intercontinental Champion is definitely an example of just how great Wade Barrett has become. And here tonight, imagine if he could knock off John Cena.
And approaching the ring from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing 240 pounds, the World Heavyweight Champion,
As a matter of fact, I'm telling you right now, he may not have to imagine this. This may happen. Wade Barrett and John Cena here tonight on SmackDown. Cena going up against one of the biggest underdogs in the match, no doubt. Oh boy, Cena knocking down the referee. Are we going to see some trouble in this one? Well, thankfully, no one's music is hit, no one's running out, so maybe not. A great reversal there by Wade Barrett, and of course, I feel like Barrett's not going to take any shortcuts here tonight. He's not going to grab a steel chair or anything like that. Wade Barrett is going to want to prove himself here tonight against the current World Heavyweight Champion. You know, Barrett lived under the reign of terror that was Sheamus's World Heavyweight Championship reign. He served under Sheamus for quite some time. And I feel like Wade Barrett, nowadays, you know, he's going to look at that World Heavyweight Championship and he's going to say, this is my chance to prove that I was the upstart. I was the big name amongst the United Kingdom. I was held down. That is the belief that Barrett has. He has an opportunity to prove that that is true in the Elimination Chamber. Of course, Wade Barrett already defeated the longest reigning former world champion Sheamus to, not to qualify, sorry. He defeated Robert Scorpio to qualify. But, well, Sheamus was in a qualifier. He lost to Warrior for what it's worth. But, you know, Barrett, he's got two goals in his mind right now, he says. One is to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and the other is to set a new record as the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion. I'll tell you what, whoever is coming out of WrestleMania with that World Heavyweight Championship, preferably whoever's coming out of Elimination Chamber this Sunday with a World Heavyweight Championship, I hope they create that new record, because that world title, I would love to actually see it, you know, remain on someone. That would be nice. Wade Barrett with a side suplex takes down John Cena.
Cena countered it. Oh, the punch connects. Very intelligent is Barrett.
Still to come here tonight, Edge and Chris Jericho, the two finalists of the Royal Rumble matchup, going one-on-one, and obviously a lot riding on that match for Edge. He really feels like he needs to prove himself. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it would be so poetic in a sense if Mark Henry was to become World Heavyweight Champion in the Elimination Chamber and Edge was to become King of the Ring. Because not only does Edge want the World Heavyweight Championship finally around his waist, he wants to avenge Bret still, I'd imagine, after Mark Henry removed Bret Hart from competition. I feel like there's a lot riding on that one. Well, I feel like the same can be said for CM Punk too, if he was to become King of the Ring. I feel like Punk and Edge are going to have the most heartfelt, you know, struggle going through King of the Ring, and it might be enough to motivate them to make it to the very end, but in that second round, the winner of Punk and Edge has to face the winner of Undertaker and Kane. I don't really like the chances there. And then, of course, Raw's side has got The Rock, Randy Orton, Diesel, and Hulk Hogan on it. I don't know. It's going to be a really tough time to predict who's going to come out of the King of the Ring tournament with the win.
And we're witnessing more amazing moments here tonight.
Go on then, let's hear it. Let's hear your predictions down below. Who do you think will be this year's King of the Ring, and who do you think will be World Heavyweight and WWE Champions? Only 3 predictions, really, ultimately. I mean, you could predict every bracket of the King of the Ring match if you wanted to, but you really don't need to. Just to say who you think is going to be King of the Ring and the 2 world champions. Bonus points if you can also name who you think Chris Jericho will be going for at WrestleMania. Cena getting stretched out. It's impossible to predict because it's all just down to whatever happens, really. But, oh my god, Wade Barrett going for a waistline on Cena already. He's dominated John Cena so far. And, oh, I thought for a minute Wade Barrett was about to beat John Cena. Cena has taken some shocking losses recently, but I've been talking about this recently. I feel like the 2 world titles are kind of cursed at the moment. Feels like whoever's in possession of them, they, they get a lot of momentum riding into that world championship win, and then they kind of lose it all the moment they win the title. Look at Austin, who lost to McIntyre and Hulk Hogan this past Monday on Raw, and obviously, a similar sense to how McIntyre qualified by beating Austin. That very same week, Friday night, Mark Henry beat John Cena, and that's how he qualified for the Elimination Chamber. So, if John Cena loses to Wade Barrett here tonight, very parallel runs right now for Austin and Cena, and that could spell disaster for the both of them at Sacrifice. No, in the Elimination Chamber matches. Oh, John Cena. Superplex! Dead center of the ring, got him. Perfect place to go for a cover, absolutely. Just the 2. Barrett is really hanging in there. He's really showing that he can hang with the best right now. Barrett's hand on the ropes. He is on top of his game. Cena going for the attitude adjustment out of nowhere. That was very unexpected, but he got it. Is it enough? No. Wade Barrett kicking out of the attitude adjustment, and this feels like an even playing field right now. Just the 1. Barrett very quickly kicking out, and now John Cena sending Barrett into the corner once again. He violently falls down, and this match just keeps on going. John Cena says, "You can't see me," and Wade Barrett gets dropped with a Thez press. Okay. Cover off the Thez press. That's very unusual for John Cena. Trying something new here to get the job done. And uh-oh. If I were Wade Barrett, I'd be bracing myself because it's time to take a loss. Dead center of the ring, John Cena calling for... This game sucks. This game fucking sucks. Well, Wade Barrett beat by John Cena, and he offers his respect to Barrett. Oh boy. A little bit of sour grapes there from Wade Barrett. Obviously, I get it, you know. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line this Sunday. He wants what Cena's got, and Cena said, "You can't take it from me 2 days from now, but I will show you respect for a great competition." Barrett does not want that handshake. Well, anyway, up next, the man who is destined to be in one of the top title matches at WrestleMania, Chris Jericho, faces off against the potential King of the Ring, Edge, up next. That's right, Chris Jericho is making his entrance, everybody. Oh boy. The guy who will get one of 2 world title matches. It's his choice which champion he goes for at WrestleMania. The King of the Ring gets the choice he doesn't make.
The following contest is scheduled for 1 fall. Making his way to the ring. From Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 231 pounds, Chris Jericho.
I sincerely hate that we live in a world where this guy is a WrestleMania main eventer. This guy is a Royal Rumble winner. It is disgusting beyond belief to me. It is absolutely rotten to know that Chris Jericho could be the next World Heavyweight, or well, not the next, but he could be a future WWE or World Heavyweight Champion. This guy has stabbed everyone in the back. He has used everyone to get to his point. He has been disrespectful to not only The Undertaker, but also Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, in a time where they've clearly been going through something, and he has taken all the credit for it. And now this guy will get a world title match at WrestleMania. Doesn't that just make you sick? I hate it so much. So much. Well, this man, I think, should have won the Royal Rumble. I think it would have been a much better story. I think I would have been very happy with it. But King of the Ring is his chance at redemption.
Approaching the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 241 pounds, the rated R superstar, Edge. Really,
Edge's only setback when it comes to his match, his space in King of the Ring even, is obviously his opponents. They're definitely going to be extremely difficult. Going through 3 matches in one night is not going to be easy for whoever ends up with the King of the Ring. And we've been told that this year's King of the Ring, it will be back-to-back-to-back-to-back matches. There will be no gaps in between rounds. So obviously what I mean by that is if you saw last year's King of the Ring event, we kind of did like the first set of matches, and then there was like a match in between, and then there's several others. Whereas this year's King of the Ring, I really feel bad for whoever's in that bottom bracket of the King of the Ring tournament, because basically what I'm saying is, say the bottom bracket is Edge versus CM Punk. Whoever wins that second match, so let's say Edge hypothetically beats CM Punk. Then he goes up against Undertaker or Kane or whoever. We'll say Undertaker in this situation. He is then going to have to immediately jump into a one-on-one match with whoever is the Raw finalist. There will be no space in between. Whereas the Raw finalist will at least have the duration of however long the second round SmackDown match is before the Raw and SmackDown finalists face off against each other. So it benefits to be on Raw is what I'm saying. Because I believe the bracket is laid out in a sense that Raw will be kicking it off and SmackDown will be closing it. The SmackDown superstar is going to have a very hard time in the finals round. Well, Elimination Chamber is just one match away now. Once this match is over, it is time for the Elimination Chamber event. Obviously, you'll have to wait a day, but, well, let's stay in character here. You'll have to wait 2 days. It was this Sunday, but Elimination Chamber is oh so near, and then that means finally 5 weeks and WrestleMania is all that is left of this rotten season. I've enjoyed this season, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's taken so long, which I hate. I'm not proud of how long this season has taken at all. And the game itself has been very temperamental. I know earlier I blamed the crash on the PS3, but you know, 12 and 13, they were both done off the PS3, and I don't remember it crashing constantly. I think it's just 14. I'd say this game was pushing the PS3 to its limits, but I don't think any WWE game has ever pushed a console to its limits.
Did you hear how his leg connected? Ow, hard kick to the ribs. The tension.
Great move there. Good indie spot between Edge and Chris Jericho. You know what's crazy is at one point these two were actually a tag team. I believe it was the first WrestleMania these two competed for the tag team titles, didn't they? And upon losing, Chris Jericho walked out of the company for a whole year. That's how bitter he was that they came up short. But they both have one goal in mind, and it'd be interesting enough. We are looking at the the main eventers of WrestleMania in this very ring right now. Obviously, we know Chris Jericho will be challenging for one of the world titles, but Edge could be the next King of the Ring. I just hope he can do better than CM Punk did last week, because Punk went up against Kane last week and he got defeated. Obviously, both of those two are in the King of the Ring town, and an elbow drop puts Jericho through the table. Wonderful work, Edge. I'm proud of you. Great job. Do it again. Put the table back together and put him through it again.
These competitors trying to keep their wits about them.
Needed the midsection of Fandango. It's Fandango. Whoa. Sorry. I was thinking about Fandango. You know how it is. Edge and Fandango, they look very similar. I wonder what Fandango's up to these days. Oh, I think he's in TNA. Never mind. Edge on spaghetti legs here as Chris Jericho stands in the ring. Sorry, I was thinking about how perfect it would be to see Fandango take down Chris Jericho. I gotta be honest with you. I just thought that would be poetic. The most beloved superstar of all time, Fandango, up against the most hated superstar of all time, Chris Jericho. Got a good ring to it, you know. Jericho looking in for the looking in. That doesn't even make sense. Going to lock in the walls of Jericho, and Edge's arm already in the ropes. That is a no-go. And Jericho going straight for the code breaker. Well, he got nothing off the walls of Jericho, so I don't think he's weakened Edge nearly enough, and obviously this is all wasting a lot of time. I think Edge is for sure going to kick out of this one. There you go. Roll-up attempt here by Edge on Chris Jericho. That can be all it takes sometimes, a roll-up. Uh-oh. But not this one. Please, not this one. Okay. All right. Okay, only a little back and forth there. Thank goodness for that. Good clothesline takedown there by Edge, and now, uh-oh. Edge, you saw him. He backed up into that corner. Edge was thinking spear, I'm telling you now. I don't know if he's done enough to put Jericho away with a spear. Edge, I guess he feels he has. Maybe. I mean, that's twice now he's gone to consider it in the corner. He just hasn't gone for it. I mean, obviously Jericho's going to his feet fairly quickly. Part of the spear is to kind of call you a spot there and then and go for it. I feel like it'd have nearly as much impact with Jericho just kind of standing up that quick. And Edge, oh yeah, he is looking for it. He is looking for it. This time Jericho's a little slow to get to his feet. Edge, spear straight to Chris Jericho. Cover that guy. Cover him. Show him who should have won the Royal Rumble. Yes! There you go. Edge puts Chris Jericho away in just under 6 minutes. Closing out SmackDown with a much-needed win. Edge! Showing respect to Jericho. Similar scenes to what happened with Barrett earlier. Jericho says, no thank you. That was a shocking move. Edge didn't need to do that at all, but hey, Elimination Chamber is this Sunday, and this guy right here could be your next King of the Ring. You don't want to miss it. King of the Ring, Elimination Chamber, all in one, and it is next Sunday. See you then.